Rolling? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a special treat. The legendary George Foreman will be sitting down with the boxing voice for your pleasure. Good morning, George.
Good to see you there.
Can you just pop those headphones in so you can hear me clearly? So, first and foremost, thank you for giving us the opportunity to interview you here on this busy fight week. But how are you, Mr. George Foreman? What a pleasure to be interviewing you. I'm telling you, you're a legend. I've watched all your fights. Obviously, wasn't alive for some of those, but definitely watched them all and know everything about George Foreman, and you know about big fight weeks. So talk to us a little bit about this Canelo versus Jacobs big fight week and the fact that it's a new network on board being the driving promotion in the zone for this fight. How does it feel for you?
I think it's wonderful. For a change, boxing is getting its rightful position. And Canelo Álvarez is changing everything about boxing. Television, the way we look at it, the way we even pay for it. This is a magnificent journey for a fighter. And in the next 2 years, there's no one that can beat Canelo Álvarez but complacency. He's able to resist that. Nobody will beat him. And you can say whatever you want about this guy has the best jab, this guy, nothing. This guy hits like a heavyweight. And by nature, he moves like a lightweight. He's got the package.
He does have some soul in him, right? The way he has that lateral movement, does that impress you? The way that he can stay in the pocket and avoid those shots like he did in both fights with Gennady Golovkin. Even though they were close, he showed that skill and soul, I like to call it.
The guy's got the whole package. And you can see he's a gym rat. Probably the only guy that meets him toe-to-toe as far as the gym rat terminology is Mayweather. Mm-hmm. Mayweather, since he was a little baby, he hanging around the gym with a milk bottle. Can I box dad? And Canelo Álvarez is that kind of fellow.
For sure. So now, what about Daniel Jacobs? I mean, he's defied the odds on numerous occasions on a bigger stage than this. Obviously, this is the biggest fight of his career, but he's had a way tougher battle. His battle with cancer. He's overcome the adversity. Doctors told him he'll never box. Now he's boxing on the biggest stage. How do we tell Daniel Jacobs that he's only here to be Canelo's B-side?
You know what? Jacobs got a great story. And probably years from today, it'll be a great movie to tell about it. He's reluctant. He's a good boxer. And whenever I've seen good boxers, that means that's someone with good sense and they have fear. And that's a good thing to have when you fight Canelo Álvarez. He's got that much. When I give the fight, like I said, 70-30 for Canelo Álvarez.
So, George, tell me, what division excites you the most?
The middleweight.
Middleweights?
The middleweight. Wow. Because they hit like heavyweights and move like lightweights. And they are the ones who make the better teachers, the welterweights especially. They make good teachers of boxing. I'm
almost shocked to hear you say that. I'm figuring you being such a legendary heavyweight, and now with the heavyweight division and the landscape the way that it is, that you would be keen to say that the heavyweight division is one of your favorites. But talk to me a little bit about that division, the heavyweight division. How do you see it and its landscape?
Oh, Deontay Wilder. He could be the cream of the crop. And then, of course, what's the guy who just fought him?
Tyson Fury?
Tyson Fury. He didn't know that he would be able to endure what he did endure with Wilder. Now that he does know, he probably can beat all of the guys in the heavyweight division. He's got up after that crunching punch and had the other guy holding on. Tyson Fury could be the cream of the crop.
So, George, tell us, man, what other endeavors, what do you have going on? Obviously, you're a legend in this sport, but we want to know what George Foreman is doing. Anything you want to let the world know?
Well, I've raised 10 kids, I have 14 grandkids, 3 great-grandkids. Man, I got to work. Every time I come home, it's like stand a search. Put your hand on the car. Spread your They come in looking for something.
Everybody wants something, George.
Yeah, so I have to be busy. I'm working all the time. I'm in 20 businesses.
Nice.
And always looking for another business because you got to bring home the bacon.
Oh, for sure, man. So now I want to ask you, Canelo Álvarez, since you said you don't see anyone beating him, I got to ask because he said it in the media that he likes that 175-pound fight with Sergey Kovalev. And after we seen Kovalev lose to Andre Ward via body shots, and Canelo's this devastating body puncher, that left hook landing on those livers, maybe he has a shot to move up at 175. We've seen him do very well with Rocky Fielding, moving up one division. Do you think at 175 Canelo can take Sergey Kovalev for that WBO title?
Maybe. That's a big word, maybe. Sugar Ray Robinson fought for the light heavyweight title. He was that good. Put on an extra weight, but it almost killed him. And the fighter he fought, I can't remember his name, was just, can you think of it? He was light heavy. He fought for the light heavy title, light heavyweight title. He almost won, but fainted. Sugar Ray Robinson. The only weight that he couldn't conquer was the light heavyweight. Canelo may be faced with that same Sugar Ray Robinson syndrome in that area.
Now, with Kovalev already being knocked out a total of 3 times, twice by Ward, once by Elderly Alvarez, and a little older at this point, I want to say he's around 36 years old, maybe now is the right time for Canelo, if he can get that fight, because I know Kovalev, obviously, the politics of boxing, he's with Top Rank.
I'm not going to say, it's the weight.
Okay.
I'm not even thinking about the skill of the fighter. If I could really think of the fighter who fought Sugar Ray Robinson, Archie beat him for the light heavyweight title, of course. The guy, he's skipping my name, but Sugar Ray Robinson wasn't outclassed. He just the weight was just too much for him.
All right, so you did talk about welterweights being your favorite division. I got to get your thoughts on Errol Spence after the Mikey Garcia fight. I believe you thought Mikey would beat Errol, so now when you've seen Errol put on this boxing performance, where do you grade him now?
Mike Spence. I think of him, whenever I think about him, I think about the taste of crow. He made me eat crow. Crow does not taste good. I was certain that Mikey Garcia was going to beat him. But Spence came out with this left jab.
Yes.
He boxed him. Everybody said he's going to walk through him. He didn't. He boxed through this guy with this left jab. Even at the end, he didn't come in for the finish. He was reluctant. And I praise him for that. Mike Spence is good. He's very good.
So you feel that you've given Errol Spence more credit for...
I'm sorry, Errol Spence.
You've given him more credit for not getting the stoppage. You think that the display of boxing was better?
Yeah, because if he tried to walk through Mikey Garcia would have gotten him.
Okay.
He never lost track of that. Even when he knew he had him, he said, I'm going to stay the course. He's not only a good fighter, he's smart. Spence, very smart.
So obviously his nemesis in the division, the quote-unquote super fight in the future, is Terence Bud Crawford from Nebraska. How do you see those two faring up? Now, Terence, if you're not familiar...
I know him. He's one of those guys. And when I'm in the ring with Muhammad Ali after about 5 rounds, I was a heavyweight champ of the world. Muhammad was not the number 1 contender. And I'm thinking about the 6th round, like, what in the world am I doing in the ring with this fella in the first place? And the same Crawford, you get in that ring about 5 rounds. What am I doing in the ring with? I tell anyone, leave that guy alone.
Really?
Let time get him.
Wow.
Let time let time beat him. So who's his greatest opponent? Time. That's the only thing that beats certain guys. Time.
So you putting him down as the best at that welterweight division?
Oh, don't bother that guy. Leave him alone.
Wow. So
let sleeping dog lie.
So now the difficulty for Crawford is the opponents to prove that he's this great fighter, because everyone's on the other side. Errol Spence has a plethora of fighters to choose from: Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. For Bud, not that easy. How does he grow his stardom?
Well, Crawford, he's there. I mean, he's got everything, but he's not to be so good. It's almost set aside like a jazz musician. You can only get so good that people go to the rock and roll. But this guy, Crawford, he's just going to only get so popular because the smart guys are going to avoid him if they're really smart. Leave him alone. I don't blame you. Leave him alone.
Errol Spence says he's not going to avoid him. He says he's going to collect all the belts on his side and he'll be over there to see him. He says, don't hold tight. You'll get your opportunity.
You know what Errol Spence did? Displayed his smartness. Leave Crawford alone.
Leave him alone.
Yeah, because you can't hit him and then he can hit you, and then you can't outbox him. What are you going to do? You let time get them. Every now and then these guys get in the ring like Sugar Ray Leonard, and time got them.
I think that they're their own greatest opponent for one reason. Southpaws are difficult to face because it's difficult to find a plethora of southpaw sparring. But both of these men are at their best at southpaw, so they'll be looking in the mirror. Really want to see that fight.
I like that.
I know you guys are obviously have a time schedule, so I do want to thank you for the opportunity to sit down here and give us this time to talk to you a little bit about boxing as a whole, Canelo Álvarez as a star. Truly appreciate talking to a legend. George, thank you so much here from ThaBoxingVoice.com.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. There you go.
Can we grab a photo? If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Untitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.